Hello and welcome back to another episode of Solo No More. I'm your host, Catryce Thompson, and I think that I'm going to be launching a new offer this summer, which is really crazy to say because I was not planning on launching anything new this year. And I had actually built multiple programs that I had planned to run this year that I actually am not going to be running or only ran once. So, for instance, for Hold My Mimosa, I had this program called Supercharge, and I was really, really, really excited about it. And I still am very excited about the idea, but I felt like the time in which I had planned to launch it, as I got into the launch, I was like, this just doesn't feel right. And Supercharge was going to be this 3-month mini mind, and it was going to be focused on helping coaches or even service providers relaunch an offer. So, really taking an offer that they already have, that they've already launched, that's already been on the market, and relaunching it to get the results that they actually want out of the launch. I started promoting and marketing and selling, and I wrote out a bajillion emails for this offer and decided that I am just going to pocket it, that I'm just going to save it for another time, which I don't know when I will run that program, but I don't think it will be this year. And then there was also for Captured Media, I had Minis Mayhem, which I was so stoked about. And it was this 10-day intensive, and it was focused on selling mini sessions and really going over the basics of what does a good launch look like, what is included, mapping out their content and everything. Very similar to Supercharge, but very condensed, focused for photographers. It was way more of a, get some quick information, get some general overviews, get your questions answered, but then also was supposed to be a way for me to get people working with me and then sell them into Evergreen Support Network to get more support. Now, for both of these, one I did not run Supercharge this year, but I did run one session of Minis Mayhem, and I had planned on doing a relaunch and running the program again and doing a spring cohort. The thing is that with all the craziness of prepping for my wedding, I was like, you know what? I just need to focus on one thing, and that one thing is going to be my memberships. And I was like, I really want to get 100 people to sign up for my memberships. That is the one thing that I'm going to focus on this year. I was like, this is the focus. That is what we are doing. And at the beginning of June, I kicked off the month I spent the first half of the month traveling. I went to Milwaukee and then to San Diego, and then I went to Nashville. And Milwaukee was to visit clients and to celebrate my clients, Kaylee and Bailey, and then their grand opening of their photo studio. And then I went to San Diego to go support my client Sam as she was speaking on a panel at an event. And then I went to Nashville to go to this networking event called the Founders Table, run by my friend Alicia. Literally, if you have the chance to go to one of these dinners, you need to get in the room, sit at this table. Like, it's so good and electrifying. And Alicia ended up inviting me to spend a little bit of extra time with her and her photographer, my other friend Hannah, with them in Nashville. I had originally planned on literally going for just the dinner and then like popping home, but they were like, girl, let's go out to brunch. And then brunch turned into let's go out to dinner. And then it was like let's just stay. It was a whole thing. And it was such a blast. And the extra night I ended up spending in Nashville, I stayed with them at their hotel in their room. And Alicia and I had one of those really late night chats where like you just deep dive into your business. If you are not a business owner, you will not understand this, but it's very much like having those late night chats with your best friends, and you like deep dive into some like aspect of life, and you're just like chatting it through and working through. Sometimes like if you're a girl, like peak girlhood is like boys and talking about boys and dating and your relationship issues and everything. But Alicia and I got to talking about business and the state of my businesses and my goals and everything. Something that ended up coming up during this conversation was that I'm financially not at the place where I would like to be. Like, I would love to be bringing in 10 to 15K a month. Like, that is the goal. And my highest revenue month ever was literally May of this year, and that was 6K. A little over 6K, but rounding 6K. So close, but not yet like at that 10K minimum. And I would love to be making 10K minimum, and 15K would be the perfect sweet spot for, being able to pocket enough money for like, personal spending and everything. And so we were talking about that, and I was telling her about my goal and how I had a coach tell me that I needed to focus on one thing. And my one thing that I was focusing on was signing 100 members into membership. And I don't necessarily want 100 members in my membership all at one time, though I do have the capacity and the ability to have 100 members all at one time, but I do think that what I've noticed is that with having less members, and even though I'm not making the amount of money that I want to be making, I do love the more one-on-one attention I'm able to give. And I am creating more systems and stuff to be able to continue having the client experience that my clients get in the memberships, but also being able to grow and scale. But as we were having this conversation, she was like, Catryce, you need to start focusing on like a high ticket offer and selling a high ticket offer. And she was saying to have something that was like about 2.5 to 3K in price for a monthly cost. Like their monthly rate would be about 2.5K to 3K. And she was like, sign 2 to 4 clients at that rate and then go back to focusing on your membership. And as frustrating, I'm going to be completely honest, it's a little frustrating because all I want to do is focus on my memberships. But I will say that there has been a little bit of a lull. And I'm hitting these very interesting spots where I will have peaks where I'm like, yes, there's a lot of interest, there's a lot of warm leads, we're signing a couple clients and everything. But I will say that I'm signing only maybe 1 to 2 clients a month. And I would really, really, really like to be signing at least 5 new clients a month and having people stay in the membership for a minimum of 90 days. But then like the membership is built for them not to have to be in the membership all the time. It's built for them for not just photographers, because this is another thing, and I'll probably dive into this in another episode. Like, I don't just want to work with photographers. And right now I'm in this very interesting spot where everyone knows me for my work with photographers, but I'm not wanting to solely focus on photographers. And I'm wanting to transition more into working with coaches and other service providers. And what is coming up and what I'm noticing is like, I've reached a point with captured media where I really want things to be more rinse and repeat, and where I don't have to do as much heavy lifting for that. And then really being able to focus my time and my energy and to hold my mimosa. And the thing is, talking with Alicia was so enlightening because Alicia runs multiple businesses, and being able to talk about, getting a business to one point so then it can feed into another business and grow, and like having businesses grow at the same time, because I do have multiple brands under my name. And some of the brands are stagnant, some of the brands need to be revived, some of the brands are being built, some are being scaled. And so really getting to this point where like the ecosystem is really feeding itself is really big. And so I did a lot of reflection and thinking about what do I want to offer. And something that I decided is like, I specialize in Instagram marketing and sales, but I don't want to just be a social media manager. I feel like I've outgrown that. I feel like I have gotten too far in the game where that feels like a demotion for myself. And so I came up with this idea for an offer called the Consistency Cure, where I would be more stepping in as a fractional CMO and working and bringing in my team. So I'm really, really excited because over the next few months, I'm going to be focusing on building out Team Hold My Mimosa, and that's going to be electrifying because one, it's going to be free up more time for me to focus more on my clients and just kind of serve them. And then it's also going to really build the experience in the business that I really dream of having and want Hold My Mimosa to be. And so the Consistency Cure, to just give like some insight, it's going to be a mix of, showing up on Instagram and also doing email marketing. But the goal is working with, and something that I've noticed and learned as I've worked with my client Sam, who's in Solopreneur Sidekick right now, is that I love that she has a podcast. I love that she has some form of long form content, and like how that makes it so much easier to create content for Instagram, to be able to do her, her weekly newsletters. And so really taking that and being like, okay, how do we really take that? I'm just now noticing that on my screen it says co-host because I'm working on a secret project. So let me clean that up really quickly. So it just says my name because it doesn't need to say co-host and business strategist for the video portion. Going on though, really how Consistency Cure is focused is like making it, because what I've noticed with working with Sam is that she loves what she does. She loves serving her clients. She loves podcasting. But when it comes to more of the micro content, that's not where she wants to be spending her time. And so really taking consistency here and really looking at one from a strategic point of view, what launches are coming up, what offers are being built, what funnels need to be built. So then you're not just, you know, speaking to the wall or shouting to the masses. And then when the masses come your way, um, there's not really a journey for them. So really taking that and doing funnel building and funnel refinement, but then really taking their macro content. So whether they have a podcast, YouTube, a blog, even Substack, just long form content, and then breaking that up and turning it into Instagram content, email marketing, and all this stuff, and really pulling that apart. So then one, they're showing up consistently and staying top of mind, but then looking at from a sales point of view, how can we take all that content, create funnels, and then get clients into programs. And so I'm really excited about that. And I didn't think that I would be launching something new this year, but I am. Well, I knew I'd be launching something new this year, but I didn't think I would be launching anything new in the second half of the year. And I definitely thought I would just be rinse and repeating Supercharge and Minnie's Mayhem. But here we are, and I'm really, really excited about it. And also, what I've decided for this launch is I already have the waitlist going. I'm starting to tease it on Threads. I haven't talked too much about it on Instagram, but what I'm doing is not only using my waitlist as like oh, here's the waitlist, but also working on what does launching in public look like and figuring out and really using this as a way for me to play around with what works and what gets people excited about working with me, because I've seen this happening a lot where there are a lot of business owners who right now are launching in public. And so it's becoming really popular. It feels very trendy right now. And I'm really exploring with the consistency cure, what that looks like for me. It's also very interesting to be deciding that I will be launching something new in the middle, not even in the middle, at the very end of my wedding journey. Like we are so close, less than a month away from my wedding. And I am now looking at, mapping out launches and what do I want my marketing plan to look like? And also trying to just get super consistent on Hold My Mimosa's Instagram account. So then it looks a little bit more credible and professional, and there's actually substance there. So it's not just like, oh, here's a blank, like here's an Instagram account that has Hold My Mimosa as the handle and it has a nice photo of me, but like actually is built, to start getting some new eyes on the brand, to start nurturing and everything. So I'm really, really excited about that. But it is a lot, I will say, with the wedding just around the corner. But yeah, that's really all that I have for you. I just wanted to share this little update because I am really excited to kind of check back in a month, maybe two, and kind of talk through things that I liked, things that I didn't, how the launch went. But yeah, I will talk to you next time.